Hello there and welcome back. Today we talk about the ZZOMBEE from Beetronics. It's a new pedal that do quite a lot of interesting things. It's in between a filter, a tremolo, many other things. We will see that step by step. I find it that it's very interesting to create sort of melancholic emotional sequences, and I'm using it with the Vermona Perfourmer MK2 sequenced by the Oxy 1, and then I'm using the night sky at the end of the chain to add some spatial ambient. This was Otto saying hi. Hey buddy, it's meowing a lot lately. Okay, so first let me thank Beetronics for sending this over. They send the pedal without asking anything in return, so this is all my opinion. I have to say that since I unpacked it, it's very cool. It comes wrapped in this nice paper. It's a cool graphic. There's this, the manual is written as a sort of comic book, and I love it. And also this thing is like, this is carved. It's a very beautiful pedal. And so it's the first impact was very nice. Before going on in everything, a few ways you can support this page. As usual, you can subscribe, you can share this content, you can buy from the affiliate link down below, or you can become a Patreon where I will go more in depth with tutorials, demo, and all creative stuff. And the new things that I want to always say is a sort of disclaimer about gear. Gear is fun, but it doesn't make music. It's you that make music. I'm a lucky guy that get a lot of stuff to demo. That doesn't mean that you need a lot of stuff to do music or express your voice. So we go through some hate lately, and I want to be clear that you need very little to create. Whatever you see in my channel, most of the time things that people send me, but I'm a firm believer that you can find a setup and then stick with that and create the most amazing thing. That said, let's go on. So first, let's hear the sequence that I created, and let's also talk a little about the what's going on in the Oxy. So my cat is destroying this house. So I'm using 3 voice of the Perfourmer as a chord. And so I have on track 1 this chord progression going on. I know it's a new thing for me because I never do chord progression. In Oxy there's this function where you have the chord. In the new firmware you can press a chord, then go on your sequence, put a button, and that chord will be there. So it's very simple and great to create chord progression. Beside that, I also have on track 2 using the VCO4 to create a sequence. I created this one actually using the shift and the random generator. So you press a button and it creates a random sequence. The great thing is like this goes in harmony with the scale choose for the chord, so it's pretty convenient. Then we go into the ZZOMBEE as a mono, so these all work as mono right now, and then we go into this night sky that add this beautiful reverb, and then we had some interval on the 5th. All right, but first, why I say getting emotional with Zombie. I feel that every pedal or every instrument has a sort of way of striking my chords. So in this case, when I tried the Zombie, I didn't honestly really know what to expect because it's a new product. There wasn't a lot of stuff out, and initially I thought, oh, will I be using it? And that's the question that I ask myself every time that I buy new gear or get new gear. Will it be useful to me? For what? I feel that most of the pedals that I have, they have a very particular uniqueness that allows me to use it in a certain way. For example, the moment that I put the Zombie in, I was drawn to his tone and to create a sort of nostalgic, melancholic, emotional, baked kind of tune. So it's not an advice, but one thing that I realize is just like with tools, sometimes, especially with hardware tools, it resonates with you in a different way than could be a software, for example, or I don't know, even the software can work like that. But to me, it's like every pedal I link to a certain kind of mood, to a certain kind of vibe. So to me, it's interesting then to explore in that field, and maybe sometime when you're bored and you don't know what to do, to try to use the same pedal in a completely different way, to just get out of your comfort zone. So let's first hear what it does. And let's tune down this. We have the bypass, of course, and then we have a few control. We have four actually. What's the name of this? Slider, I don't know. This one for preset, you have 2 preset, or you can play live. Then we have here where you decide the different modes. And different modes are, this pedal works in 2 different macro mode. One would be the filter, when the filter is on. And the filter can be used on this side of the pedal, the octave, or the on-A part, that is the clean signal. Or it can be used when the filter is off as an amplitude modulator, and in that case it behaves similar to a tremolo, or actually can be a basic tremolo or more, and it has a very beautiful tone. I really like tremolo, how tremolo had this melancholic tone to me to sound. First we will go through the filter on. So let's hear what it does. So when you turn on the pedal, you have with the B here, you control the clean signal coming in, and you have a slider on top that is clean and had drive. And here already you hear this interesting tone. If you press this button, you will access all secondary functions for all of the knobs. So in this case, pressing this and moving the gain section, you will add less or more gain. We will keep it like this for now. So this would be the clean signal, and this more almost fuzz. The B, of course, is the volume, but it has, as you can see, different sub-function, rate and ramp down, and that it will work in different modality, we will see later. On the other end, we have the Parasite. Let's see it pure. The Parasite is the octave down, so it's 1 octave down. It tracks very well when it's a monophonic thing. If you add a chord like this, it can be a little messy, but like most of the Octaver out there. Nonetheless, it can be very interesting. For example, this tone is pretty nice. It's a mixture between the B and the Parasite, and there's the filter going on. We will see that in a second. So you start from this, completely another world. So, up here you have the three modality. So one is a ramp. Actually, let's first talk about the filter. So the filter can be directed to the Oni or to the octave. So let's hear on the Oni. And this is a sort of a classic low-pass filter that you are used to. It has a tap tempo. So in this case I'm using the modality as LFO. So it means that basing on your tap tempo or on the rate that you access pressing this, it will do just a sort of auto wah. There's also an expression pedal in, so you can basically use it as a wah. You have the chance to decide the tempo by clicking here, by pressing here and set the rate. And let's say you put a tempo, pressing this, and here you go in tap division. This is the modality called LFO. The modality called ramp, it basically works like this. Whenever you press this button, a ramp will go up, opening the filter and then closing it down. So as long as you keep it pushed, you basically open the filter, and then when you release, it goes down. You can decide the ramp time pressing this button and set how long. For example, now I should choose a very long time. It could be an instant down. This control the ramp up, this is the ramp down. So now I'm opening the filter, as you can hear. And then whenever I depress, now it goes very fast there. Of course, having this on alternate control, you don't see. The only problem I see is like you don't know where is actually the setting for the other thing. So that's something you have to get used. There's another function called MAD. MAD basically has something like 5,000 different sequences that open and close the filter. You access them by press the alternate. This is, I think, is the division, and here you can add 2-step and more. And every time you re-click the tap tempo, you have another sequence. As you can hear, you can get a very interesting tone. We have one last thing to show, and is the filter setting. It has two settings, one called wingspan, one depth, and you access the first one with just rotating and the other one with, again, the alternative thing, and you select the width of the filter, how it works. So you can get different tones. So as you see, every time that I do a new different tap tempo, a new sequence is loaded, and you can then change the rate of it. Now, of course, this would be the clean signal, but what I think it's getting very nice is when you put some reverb. kinda love it. All right, these cover all the basic function, but what happened when the filter, actually now we listen at the filter on the clean sound. Let's listen on the octave. So let's turn up the monophonic one. So I liked LFO, and we can set a very slow rate that I think is around 30 seconds. So right now the filter is working on the Parasite, and we can add the clean signal to it and decide also now there's some distortion happening. This would be the clean signal, and this more fuzz. It's very nice because now you can introduce your bass coming up, and there's this slow things going on. You can add the ramp if you want. So one thing that I don't like, and I don't know if there's a way, it's that whenever you change modality, you lose the setting. So we were working on the Oni and having a long ramp going up and then going down. But the moment that you change the modality, you lose those settings. So it's something you need to be careful. Or you just have to save in one of your two presets. If you do a performance or something, that could be a good idea, saving your preset and know that if you use ramp, whatever. Okay, let's go in the other. That is a favorite of mine. So let's get back to the chord progression. So whenever the filter is set to 0, you have this other function that is amplitude modulation. So if the selector here is in the middle, LFO, basically it works as a tremolo. And you have here how deep the tremolo goes. With this you set the rate of your tremolo. And I really like the tone. This is a clean sound. And the interesting part is like if the Parasite is completely off, basically it's a regular tremolo on the clean tone. But the moment you bring this, the tremolo bounce between the clean tone and the octave down. Of course, you can, in this modality, you can change the tone of the octave down with this. So it's sort of open the filter and close the filter. The other two modality in ramp and mad is basically work again as opening up the amplitude, in this case of the Parasite, and the other case of the clean. Okay, at this point we kinda cover all the concept behind these. So first impression, how useful this pedal is. Surprisingly, I thought it was more dedicated to a guitar kind of folks, but I feel that this is a great addition for even synth sound. To me, I really like these sounds. And this is just a tremolo, you know, but then you can add some distortion. I love it. And then whenever you start using in the filter version, I think it's interesting, especially when I'm using stuff like the Perfourmer that has 4 different filters. So in this case I will have a master filter, and adding the filter to the distortion, it creates this can decide how much the filter will work. And then it can go in extremely mad territories. We can load also. Let's play something. For example, now I have I saved my pattern here. Let's save it again. Project saved. Then I can start changing randomly this. You set the random, and then you just press a button. You can put the density. Let's put less, humanizing, and randomness. And then you press. For example, now I'm adding rhythm on top of this simple melody here. This would be the clean. Of course, this kind of, say hi Otto, this kind of things works nice when you have a longer decay. Go through some setting and play with you. So yeah. And I like also on the chord. There it is. My cat is getting my life complicated. For example, let's hear on some chord. From a simple like this, and you had this nice tone. You can add some distortion. You can add a lower distortion pressing those gain, lower gain pressing these and selecting this. And another way I like is just setting a super slow rate with chords and just go. As you can hear, it opens and closes the filter in around 15-20 seconds, I don't know. Let's add another voice to the thing. So now it's all the voice working and it's rotating. In this case, the Parasite might be a little complex to use. And then I like the tremolo part. I feel the distortion really works well, at least with the Perfourmer. It sounds like a guitar sometimes, like a distortion. So but even in a clean, super beautiful. Of course, night sky help. And this can be just as much as beautiful to create a chord progression, record, and then work on that. All right, so conclusion. As usual, first again, thanks Beetronics. What I think of this pedal, I think is a great addition to have some new tones, a new possibility in your setup. Besides looking pretty awesome, if you are looking to spice up your sound and you like distortion, I am not a big fan of distortion, for example, but I find out that I like what I hear in this one. I really like the tremolo part. I like the filtering with monophonic synth when you use one only. So yes, it's definitely interesting. It looks awesome. It's a great addiction when you have your FX collection set up and you have all the basic effects. These are all the kind of effect that I like to add on a second time. When you just have all the bread and butter that you need, then these are definitely those particular take on a certain concept that goes pretty far in a extreme direction, possibly. And it's interesting always to see how producers, I mean like builders, I don't know what to say, how to call them, but like Beetronics always push out of the boundaries a little, because then it's where you can find unique tones. Of course, the drawback on that is that these are more sort of extreme, sort of more experimental to me, especially used with synth. So it all depends where your music workflow sit on, if this pedal could be useful or not. I am sure that I will use it to record all of my soundscape, because so far I'm having a lot of fun with it. Okay, that said, thank you. yeah, I wanted to change my sequence a little. And we close with this very melancholic tremolo effect and a lot of reverb. A lot of reverb for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. And now, yeah, let's go get emotional somewhere. Ciao.